Well, welcome everybody. My name is Kathy Nelson. I'm the founder of the Photo Managers, and I'm really excited to bring you this part two of a three-part series that we've been doing for Steve and his audience. This is photo organizing for the Android and PC user. Who knew, right, how complex this topic could be? But as you've learned from the overall idea of organizing your photos, or if you're just stepping in on this, we're going to talk about PC and Android. And our guest expert is perfect for this. Her name is Jordan. She is the CEO and founder of Surround. Is Jordan. She is the CEO and founder of Surround Us Services, which provides services and training to help you consolidate and organize your digital photos and videos. She comes out of a software consulting background where she was the professional service director for NetSuite and Oracle before starting her company. She's also a certified professional photo manager living in Boulder with her 5-year-old twins and husband. So I'll let Jordan take it from here, but we're really excited to be part of this.
Thanks, Kathy, and thanks, Steve, for having me. I'm so excited to be here to continue the conversation about how to approach digital photo organizing. If you joined the first webinar in this three-part series, you learned about factors to consider when approaching your photo organizing project. Things like photo habits, how comfortable you are with technology, and the specific goals that you have for your collection of photos and videos play an important role in how you tackle your digital chaos. Today, I'm going to extend this conversation and talk more about tools and techniques that you can leverage. Specifically, we're going to talk about how to pick a photo management system that will work with the Android and PC devices that you love. Before we dive into the details, let's make sure that we're speaking the same language. I'm going to try and quickly clear up some of the more technical and industry-specific terms that I'll be using during today's presentation. I have spent the last 15 years working in cloud-based software systems, consulting with some of the biggest companies in the world, and I've consistently run into different in terminology and understanding of what cloud-based services are available and what they really mean. So I'm going to begin here with some basics. Cloud-based solutions are software applications that you can access via a web browser. These applications are running on devices that are located somewhere other than your local device, usually a shared computing resource in a data warehouse. Also known as software as a service or SaaS, these types of programs have quickly replaced their local downloadable counterparts. Some advantages of cloud-based solutions are that you don't ever have to upgrade them. And rather than investing in a software right up front, many will also have apps. These systems typically include a monthly subscription fee that covers the cost of the service. Cloud storage is kind of like a wireless external hard drive that stores data on the internet. Many of the cloud-based solutions that we're going to be discussing offer the ability to sync your data across your devices. This functionality is fantastic, but it can also lead to frustration if it's misunderstood. When your devices are synced, work that you do from one device, like your mobile phone, carries over to your cloud storage and in some cases your computing device. This means that if you delete a photo off of your phone, you are deleting it everywhere. This is a good thing. It means that you can organize and further curate your photo collection from any sync device. And don't worry about your phone storage. All of these services will offer a way to optimize your storage, which leads us to the next term. For mobile devices or smaller computing devices, optimized storage is an elective setting that can help conserve space on your device by compressing your data. For photos and videos, this means that you can view and work with your photos, but the full-size copies reside someplace else. I have mentioned two terms related to your devices. Mobile devices include your cell phone and tablets. Computing devices include your desktop computers, towers, and laptops. Diana and Sylvia introduced you to the concept of a photo hub. Today, I'm going to add on to that. As part of your photo organizing project, I recommend that you create and set up a working drive to tackle this project. The working drive is going to be what you use to get all of your photos from the different places that they currently reside. I recommend an external hard drive for this purpose. Sometimes this will become your photo hub. Other times it's replaced. A photo management system is a system that includes a rich set of features and tools to help you organize, find, and manage your photos. It can be either cloud-based or traditionally based. The last one listed here will garner some strong and opposing opinions. Let's just start with some definitions. Automated tagging uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to identify both people and objects in your photos and videos. Metadata is detailed information that is attached to an image as part of the file itself. Automated tagging exists within a system and is usually lost when the photo or video is extracted from that system. Metadata is attached to the file itself, so the details go with the file. Many certified photo managers feel strongly that organizing and tagging your photos and videos using metadata application is the only way to go. Others, like myself, disagree and prefer to leverage automated tagging and systems that do this for you. Before we get into recommendations as to which system is best for you, we need to figure out if you're truly what I consider an Android PC user, or if you're actually a hybrid user. To determine which type you are, answer these two questions. Now make note, the second question here is extending this into not only the devices that you're using, but the devices that your loved ones are using as well. Now, if your entire device list is made up of Apple products, then you're an Apple user, and you'll definitely want to tune in to the third part of this webinar, which we'll be playing later today. And if your device list is made up of all Android, Windows, or PC devices, then you're definitely an Android PC user. Now, if you have a combination of Apple and Android or PC devices, then you, my friend, are what I call a hybrid user. Welcome to the dark side. Congratulations, you've just been typed. As we walk through the next session, I'm going to be discussing tools based on these user types. As an Android PC user, there are many photo management systems to choose from. Let's spend a little time talking about factors that you should consider when selecting which system is best for you. What's in a system? Does it matter which one I choose? Absolutely. Devices, personal preferences, and how you plan to use, enjoy, and share your photo collection will determine which system is right for you and your family. Today, we're going to cover some of the factors that affect which system may be best for you. As an Android PC user, there are many photo management systems to choose from. Before we begin talking about the systems themselves, I want to highlight a couple other factors outside of devices that can influence this decision. We've already taken care of the device component by determining what user type you are. Next, you must work through any concerns or questions that you have regarding security and privacy as it relates to storing your data in the cloud. Now, rest assured, while there are many opinions out there on systems like Google or Amazon, I'll only be covering systems that, in my opinion, are safe and secure and do not violate a person's privacy. Finally, you want to think about what it is that you want to do with your photos. I call this category sharing. Do you want to print, share online, create photo albums, maybe pass your photos down to someone else, or maybe just share on social media? Is this sounding familiar? Diana and Sylvia walked you through some of these questions in their level system. Here are my recommendations based on the two user types that we're focusing on today. Does it surprise you? I'm going to highlight some pros and cons of each of these systems next. One point of clarification I want to make here. Both Google Photos and Prime Photos can also be used by an Android PC user. You don't have to be a hybrid user to use them. Anything that we recommend to our hybrid users will work fine in an all Android PC environment as well as an all Apple environment. OneDrive is built into your Windows computing devices, and it's a great choice if you and your family are Android PC users. Because of that, it offers a three-way sync, keeping your computer, mobile phone, and cloud in sync. This makes it easy to work on your photos and videos from any device and pick up where you left off. This also means that you don't have to download or work with any additional apps or uploaders. My favorite feature is security related, as they offer a ransomware detection and recovery program, which basically means that they offer a 30-day data recovery in case you become the victim of a cyber attack. Pretty cool. Because this program is seamlessly integrated into your Windows computing devices, it's very easy to set up and import your photos and videos. In addition to their ransomware detection and recovery program, OneDrive allows you to customize your privacy settings. Now for a couple cons. The facial and object identification in OneDrive is not as good as some of the others that are available. This could, however, be a great solution for somebody who wanted to use metadata, or maybe someone who's looking for a lower level of organization. Google Photos is simply an amazing photo management system, and the pros are too many to list. My favorite features include their facial and object recognition. They are the very best, in my opinion, and can make sorting through tens of thousands of photos a breeze. They also allow for easy sharing of longer video files, like old home movies or films that have been converted. They even offer the ability to share a video at a certain point in time. So if you find a video of a friend from years ago, you can send them. They also allow for easy sharing of longer video files, like old home movies or films that have been converted. They even offer the ability to share a video at a certain point in time. So if you find a video of a friend from years ago, you can send them a link to start playing right where they show up in the movie. There was some discussion during the first webinar regarding image compression and Google Photos. Let's get that straightened out. Google's free version of their software does compress photos and videos. However, they offer a paid version that is very affordable and based on the amount of storage you need. These plans start as low as $1.99 a month. Make sure if you're using this as your photo management solution that you're paying for enough storage and uploading and storing your photos and videos in their original size. Privacy and security and Google have had a very long history of fights. There are plenty of misconceptions about how Google handles privacy and security and your personal information. First, Google does not own your photos. You retain ownership when uploading and using their services. They offer fantastic visibility into devices that you're signed into and snapshots of the data that you have via their Google dashboard. They also have personalized privacy and increased security and privacy elections. A couple of cons for Google Photos. The sync between Google Photos and your computer is one way, meaning you can upload your photos easily, but you can't bring them back down. This will require you to perform a Google Takeout, which is their export tool. The tool creates some additional files that are essentially useless as they can't be reloaded into Google or read by other systems. These sidecar files are where all of your metadata is stored from their automated tagging. Google does use automated tagging. Amazon Photos is a great option for Prime members as they offer unlimited original size photos. They also offer automated tagging to identify people, places, and things. One of my favorite features is their integration with Fire TV and Echo devices, which allow you to set screensavers on those devices using your favorite photos. You can even use Alexa to call up certain photos whenever you need to. Amazon Photos also supports RAW files in their unlimited storage, so if you're an amateur photographer and love RAW files, this might be the best solution for you. Their Family Vault feature is also great. As far as privacy and security highlights, this may be one of the weaker of the three solutions, although I still consider them a safe and secure platform. They do say that this is only intended for personal use, not professional use. They also do offer some personalization, including disabling their facial recognition feature. However, one of the big cons of the system is in their privacy policy, they list that you are giving away permission to use, access, and retain your files. But the intent behind that is to provide better services to you, enforce terms, and improve their services. Another con is that their facial and object identification feature, while still available, is not the best. Videos are also not included for free. So if you have a lot of videos, you're going to want to make sure that you purchase the additional storage for them. You also can't replay videos that are longer than 20 minutes without downloading them first. If you have determined that you're uncomfortable with cloud-based software solutions, that's okay. These are your photos, and this is your decision. For some, a combined approach might just be the solution. If you're interested in metadata application, I recommend that you either use Adobe Lightroom or Photo Mechanic. Both systems have a pretty steep learning curve, so make sure that you invest the time to learn the system and how to use these tools before tackling this project. You'll inevitably have duplicates as you consolidate all of your photos and videos together in one place. The best duplicate detection program available for Android and PC users is Duplicate Cleaner Pro. As I mentioned before, you'll also want to make sure that you set up a working drive. I think an external hard drive works great for this. A solid state is preferred. If you're questioning how big of a drive you should get, I'd go with 2 terabytes. It's usually plenty of room. Hopefully, you now have a better understanding of cloud-based solutions that can help you organize your digital photos. Let's talk about where to start and some additional resources for you as you tackle this project. You need to determine how many files you have. Most people tell me, I have thousands of photos. Well, I'll tell you, they're almost always wrong. Most of my clients have on average 50,000 files before they remove duplicates. Many have over 100,000. In fact, I have had clients who have over 500,000 files. These are normal people, often well-intended in their efforts to back up their digital photos and videos over the past 20 years. The result is uncertainty and a fear of loss. So where to start? The first thing you need to do is you need to take that inventory and consolidate everything that you have onto a working drive. Get them in one place, and then find duplicates. Step number 2, identify and remove duplicates. Remember, you should use Duplicate Cleaner Pro if you are an Android and a PC user to help you do this. Step number 3, clean up and organize. And to do this, I recommend that you load all of your photos up into a photo management system that uses automated tagging to weed through this massive volume of photos. Listen, I urge you to leverage automated tagging to work through your tens of thousands of photos. Now, if you're one of the rare people who has less than that, then maybe you can make another decision. But in my experience, that's just typically not the case. Be patient. Uploading this amount of data into any system is a big task. Take it slow and do your research on tools to make it easier. This amount of data is similar to the data that companies have when they go from one system to another. And when a company approaches that problem, they either have an IT team that would help them do this, or they hire professional services. It's a massive undertaking, but one whose efforts produce a truly priceless result. Step number 4, once you have let the software system do the heavy lifting, back up your photos. I always recommend that you have a backup of your photos and videos outside of the photo management system that you are using. That is your photo hub. From there, you can further curate your collection, either on your photo hub using metadata or in a photo management system if you don't feel like that's necessary. Whew, that's a lot to cover, right? Looking for some extra help? Well, don't worry, we have you covered. If you're a DIY type, then I encourage you to pre-register for my DIY digital photo organizing workshop. This course will be launched mid to late July of this year, and it's going to be offered on the Photo Manager's website. It's also going to be self-paced. We're offering $50 off for anyone who pre-registers. If you're looking for more support or to maybe outsource this project, we can help you with that too. You can sign up for a free consultation with my company, Surround Us Services, where we can discuss your project in more detail. I'll be able to offer personalized recommendations as well as an estimated cost for using our professional services. We work remotely, so you don't need to be located here in Colorado to take advantage of our services. We also have consultants available in Florida, California, Colorado, Missouri, Ireland, and the UK. We aren't the only option either. You can search for the right person for the right job visiting the Photo Manager's website. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to answering your questions.
And we will get to your questions here in just a second, but let me deal with a few details. The replay for this email will be sent out tomorrow morning or maybe later today. I'm not too sure. This is a little bit out of our normal sequence, but we will be sending you a replay which will include all of the links and all of the details. So if you weren't able to write everything down, you will be getting a replay. And if you want to revisit this webinar, you can also watch it. We will leave this webinar up for 48 hours after, so we'll leave it up until like Monday afternoon or Tuesday if you need to watch it again. And then after that, we take all of our Webinar Wednesday webinars and we archive them. But they're archived for the use of our patrons, who I would like to say hello to right now. DottoTech, this channel, is supported through the generosity of our community of patrons at Patreon. Patreon's a crowdfunding site for content creators. And if you visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/DottoTech, you can pledge your support and help us out and help keep us on the air. We do every week. We do one of these tutorial type webinars on Webinar Wednesday, and as you see, but some weeks we do even extras. And support is typically $10 a month. People will pay, and that keeps us on the air. And for that, you get some amazing perks, including access to all of our webinar replays. And this would be, there's 140 or so of these webinars in the archives right now. Everything from social media marketing to content creation, to photo management, to productivity and email management. We cover the gamut as far as our tutorial webinars go. So a great big shout out and thank you to all of our existing patrons, of which I know there are a lot on with us right now. And if you are considering, we appreciate you taking a look and helping us keep DottoTech and Webinar Wednesday on the air. Now let's bring Jordan back. Actually, if Jordan and Jordan and Kathy, if you guys want to fire up your cameras again and your mics, we'll get you guys on, and we will. Oh, I see a few people are commenting that they didn't get the correct replay from Webinar Wednesday last week, and that was an extraordinary circumstance. Our webinar software wasn't speaking properly to our CRM, so everybody didn't get tagged properly, and the email didn't go out to everybody properly. So I'll get April to grab the link and drop it in. We're leaving that webinar up for a few extra days. So April will drop actually, I hope April can. I think she can. We'll drop a link here for you so that if you didn't get it, you can watch the webinar from Wednesday when we were going over the basis of the Photo Hub, which Jordan riffed off of a lot more today. So that's it. That's I think that's all of the details done. That was good. So were the questions good, Jordan, or were they what you expected?
Yeah, I think that they are. I mean, a lot of questions that I hear pretty regularly are, if I am a hybrid user, how do I pull photos from these different places? Do I need 2 external hard drives to do that? And I think, I answered this in the chat, but you can format your external hard drive under an exFAT format, which will allow both of those devices to see that. So I think that there are some solutions, and these are common questions for people in this scenario. So
and knowing, doing a little bit of research beforehand, when you get a hard drive, such as what file format you're going to be formatting the hard drive in, recognizing what the lifelong use of that drive is going to be. If you say have kids who are on Mac and you're a PC user and you want to put all your photos on your hard drive, but you might want to use that hard drive as a transport medium, you want to think about making sure that it's in a file in a format that is compatible cross-platform. And if you're just going to live in a Windows 10 world the whole time, then you just do it in the Windows, in the, what is it? Is it still called NFS? What is the Windows file system?
Yeah, NTFS.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some complexities, unfortunately, in this. I mean, I think that there's some things with the Apple Photos environment that if you're going to have a Photos application, they actually require a Mac OS formatted drive to connect that Photos application to the cloud. So, there's all these complexities as you kind of approach this project, but partitions can be an option. That was also thrown out in the chat here. So you can also partition your drive and format half in exFAT so that you can transfer between the two, and then reserve a little space on that for your Mac OS formatting if you need to run a Photos application.
The good thing is that if you're a little bit concerned, drives are so cheap for huge drives now. I got to tell you, I can remember, let me see if I can date myself, because nobody else will. What was back in 86, 87, I used to sell Macintosh computers, and we used to sell 20 megabyte hard drives. And I'm trying to remember right now, but I think the cost of a 20 megabyte hard drive for a Mac computer back in those days was about $1,500, somewhere around that. Wow. Installed 20 megabytes.
Yeah.
We have files. Yeah, we have files that are bigger, and we never could imagine that we would ever fill that hard drive. So us old timers, we look at storage and go, so cheap. When I was a kid, we used to have to walk uphill both ways to school in the snow. Drives were expensive. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
they are affordable. You can pick up 2 terabytes. For $49, $59 right now. Solid states are a little more, but if you're getting 2, you don't have to go with that solid state.
So the question I can't display, but one who was it that asked? It was just S. The letter S asked the best way to get photos off of an iPhone get off an iPhone onto a PC. What's the preferred method?
Yeah, so if you have an Apple phone, and so I would first check to see if that phone is connected to iCloud. And if it's not, I would get it connected to an iCloud account. And then what's going to happen is all those photos are going to be backed up to your iCloud account. And then what you do next is on your PC, you go and download. Apple has a PC iCloud app that you can download. And so go ahead and do that, and it'll bring all your photos down from iCloud to your PC computer. Of
all of the cloud-based services, I find iCloud to be the most obtuse. I don't know if you agree. Do you know what I mean? It is because, for example, I have switched computers in the past. It's gone to sign into my iCloud account, not recognized my username. Trying to recover your account information from Apple is a journey from hell. And one of the big, have you had that with clients?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we work with a lot of people who just can't find their passwords. And so, when recovery on a PC is so much easier. I mean, we have a lot of options as far as getting that. But when our Apple users lose their passwords, it can be really tricky. And so I agree. I mean, Apple is fantastic. I'm a huge fan as well. I'm definitely a hybrid user. I live in both worlds, but Apple is, I mean, it's just designed. It works really well, but in an all Apple environment. So with passwords, use their support tool. You can always call Apple support and they can help you troubleshoot. If it's your password, you probably have a decent shot of recovering it. If you're looking at recovering someone else's password, it can be really challenging, if not impossible.
Yeah, and that's something that we haven't really touched on, but now is not the time, but thinking about your legacy of your photos, and when they're under password and they're in an account, if something happens to you, your family quite often can't get access to those accounts unless you have set up some sort of a system in advance. And programs like LastPass create a system whereby loved ones, if you're incapacitated or pass, they can gain access to your accounts, which makes things easier for them for things like bank accounts and stuff, but essential for things like photos. Because these services, especially like Google and stuff, they aren't really equipped, and they don't really care. There's no financial reason for them to make sure that you have access to somebody's Google Photos account. There's very little incentive. You have to do the prerequisite work yourself. The bank has a reason for you to get access to the account eventually. There's a financial transaction that's going to happen there, and there's duty that is applied. Not so with these quote unquote free services. So just something to think about. Yeah. So let's pop into some of the questions now. How do you get your photos from iCloud into Google Photos?
So you have to download them from iCloud, and you can either do that directly from your Apple Photos application, or you can do that from iCloud itself. I think iCloud limits your download via a browser by 1,000, but you've got to download them, export them out of Apple iCloud, and then you need to upload them or import them into Google Photos.
Keith is asking if thumb drive photo storage tools compatible and are cost effective for Android, iPad, and Windows laptops. So I think he's talking. Is he talking about those photo tools that like suck all of your photos together and pull them all together?
Yeah. I'm guessing that what he is like one I know is Picture Keeper. There's a number of
like
them, right?
some of those. Do you guys have any experience with those? I tend to stay away from that stuff.
I honestly do too. I've had so many problems with them. I find that they don't always find everything like they promise, but then once they're on there, I've had multiple fail. And so it can be a tool, I think, to help you collect your photos. But as far as like a solution goes, I would steer clear.
Yeah, I think with current search technology on computers, if you just understand a little bit about file formats and stuff, and I'm sure you guys coach people through that you should not have too much trouble gathering and collecting all of your photos together, and relying on an automated service, I think, is like an automated tool. Like he was asking about these other, whether or not we should buy it at a retail store or online. I think that would be something that we would probably recommend you stay away from. That your time that it's worth spending a few extra cycles yourself and doing it instead of relying on a tool.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. Does Duplicate Cleaner Pro work on photos stored in Google Photos? Now, I know it doesn't, but what do you recommend for people as far as, because Google Photos has a lot of duplicates, and everybody's frustrated with Google Photos duplicates.
It is. Yeah, so I have a lot of recommendations on that. But first of all, if Google Photos is where you want to ultimately end up, if you have duplicates in there, pull everything out. Do a Google takeout. Get everything out of there, and then run duplicates, clear out your Google Photos account, and then go through the process. So make sure everything's in one place, and then re-upload it, and just be strategic.
So you just have to gird your loins and say, okay, I'm going to download it. And Google Takeout, if you've got a lot of photos, don't wait around. It's going to take. They're going to email you with the results, sometimes in a few days.
Yes. It's been quick lately, but it can. I mean, it's taken up to 4 days with really large libraries. So,
and be careful that you're just selecting your photos and you're not collecting everything you have in Google, because there's a lot of, it's an interesting journey, Google Takeout, is it not? When you realize just how much Google information Google has about you. So that it's a little bit eye-opening, but that's the process. Download it, dedupe, and then upload fresh. What do you do about avoiding future duplicates? Because it's a moving target.
Well, so if you do this once, right, going forward, you're not going to have duplicates if you get it set up correctly, right? Because
you say.
Your photos system. Well, if you follow your system, you won't. I mean, the idea is to do this once. Duplicates should be a problem that you can resolve. Okay. And so there's tools to help you resolve it. So resolve it and then get a path and follow it forward. I mean, this is a big project up front, but it's also something that requires maintenance. You're not going to stop taking photos, so you've got to have a plan going forward. And so I would just say, if you find yourself in that situation again, then you need to make sure you've got that plan outlined.
So some people, and I really get where JC is coming from here. What happens when your photos are filed and all the duplicates in different file folders? So you've got duplicates, and some of them have
Yeah.
been renamed or edited slightly. So how do you know that you aren't that you're actually deduplicating and not eliminating originals?
Yeah. So this is all about how you use Duplicate Cleaner Pro, and they have so many options there. I mean, you're looking at, there's a lot of information. So you can look at file paths, you can look at creation and modified dates. I saw some questions out there about those dates. And so you can discover a lot about your collection just through going through that tool. And so I always encourage my clients, pay attention to those dates, pay attention to those folder paths. A lot of times you realize, oh my gosh, it's all of my Google photos that have wrong dates, or oh my gosh, that one computer, none of the dates are correct. And so you can start then kind of being strategic and saying, all right, so when I'm going through these duplicates, maybe I want to prioritize my other devices and sources over these ones that I know are already corrupt. And so the goal is to preserve the very best one copy of your files. And so that's going to be a balance of, dates, size, resolution, and all of these other things.
Okay, but there are enough options in a tool like that, as opposed to manually going through and looking. There are enough options that you can once you've set up a filter, is it just a one-time process? You do it once and it's done? Like this tool, the deduplicate, it's a tool you buy and then you use it once, and then you should never have to open it again, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really is kind of a one-time use. It does have some other tool. I mean, you don't just have to search for photos and videos. So you could use it on your documents next if you want to tackle that project. So I think it's affordable. I think it's $24.99 is what it's priced at right now. But yes, there are filters and information, available on there to help you move through this. But understand one thing I try and get people to realize is that the sheer volume of data that you're cleaning up. I mentioned this in the presentation. It's typically not thousands. It's typically tens of thousands.
And that blew me away.
It's crazy. And I'm telling you, I mean, I spent my career doing this. It's a lot. So you really have to go through it and break it up into chunks. But doing this manually, I think you're going to set yourself up for failure. Yeah. So leverage tools to help you through it.
Well, think about it. I think that Kathy's webinar of going through my photo albums seemed like an arduous task. And, and they fit on one shelf on a bookshelf. And it's to imagine, I have no idea how many. So it's just the numbers they terrified me. And we're taking more and more all the time. It's not like the problem's going to resolve itself now, is it?
No,
Steve, that's, it's funny. That's where, that idea.
It's crazy. And I'm telling you, I mean, I spent my career doing this. It's a lot. So you really have to go through it and break it up into chunks. But doing this manually, I think you're going to set yourself up for failure. Yeah. So leverage tools to help you through it.
Well, think about it. I think that Kathy's webinar of going through my photo albums seemed like an arduous task. And, and they fit on one shelf on a bookshelf. And it's to imagine, I have no idea how many. So it's just the numbers they terrified me. And we're taking more and more all the time. It's not like the problem's going to resolve itself now, is it?
No,
Steve, that's, it's funny. That's where, that idea too of like this business. I would like to say when I started this 12 years ago, thinking printed more than digital, that I knew the problem was going to get this big, but it's just, and we go back to that value, right? And I know Jordan believes this too. You think about the value of the photos, like why are all these people signing up, right? Because it's your stories, it's your life that these photos that we care so much about. But when you get into these numbers, it's impossible to really find the photos that you really want to see, in the future. So
absolutely.
And just to let everybody know that Duplicate Cleaner Pro will tell you. It will tell you have this amount of files. And so a lot of times that's when we find out.
Good thing they don't charge you by the volume.
Right.
How much is it, by the way?
It's
Oh,
$24.99. They do charge you by volume and time if you consider that
oh yes. Okay.
a monitoring.
Okay. Pamela has a question. Now you got pretty excited. I heard you like your OneDrive.
Yeah.
So she's asking you to expand
So
on it. She's been using it, but she hasn't thought about
okay.
using it for storing photos yet. So you're the first person I've heard that like gets excited about OneDrive for photos. So can you expand on that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think this goes back to what Diana and Sylvia talked about, you know, in your levels of kind of organization and what you're looking for. I think OneDrive is a great solution for a lot of people. It's not going to be as robust as, you know, Google Photos or Amazon or Forever and some of the other stuff that's been mentioned on here, but it's sufficient and it's seamlessly integrated into your PC devices. And so they do have people tagging now. They didn't used to, but they do. They have object tagging, and it's all in one place. And you get this nice, you know, folder structure on your computer. So I think that it's easy to set up. You can run duplicates, you know, on those folders. And so it's a good tool. It's a good option, you know, and it's a great place to start.
So, and the ransomware protection was, I found really interesting. So it basically, it's not actually running it's not like an antivirus program, but it's an insurance policy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So if you do fall victim to, you know, a cyber attack, or you something happens, you can basically reach out to them within 30 days and they'll restore your
That
data.
is very cool. That is very cool. That's it. That's worth. I imagine that you've heard a lot of sad stories of people that have had their stuff hijacked. Yeah.
I have. I mean, a lot of people come to us after some type of loss of photos.
Speaking of which, I currently am not syncing photos from online to PC or cloud, but perhaps, Mark, you should have been, because the next question is, how do you recover photos on an Android S7 accidentally removed or deleted this week?
So my first question would be, what application were they in when you deleted them? And so a lot of applications, Apple iCloud is one of them. You know, and some others will move anything that was deleted to a recently deleted folder. Now, if you're not backed up to a cloud account, that might be hard. But I think, you know, understanding what application they're from is first, and then, you know, log on to that application and see if they have one of those, you know, 30-day deletion buckets.
And is the Samsung S7, did you have it stored on a memory card or in the internal memory? That's another thing, is what was your storage location? Because I'm not sure if the Samsung has a memory card reader in it, but if it does, I know I have in the past, for photographers, recovered photos from a recently erased compact flash card. Now it's hit and miss. You're basically buying, you're basically trusting that you're buying tools off online that are going to work for you. And I've had success, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think somebody in the chat box said something. There's almost like a trash folder kind of concept there. And so that if they're on that SD card, then you also have some other options.
So Ron's asking,
but do it quick.
Go ahead.
Don't let it linger.
Don't let it linger. Yeah, because here's the thing about it is, every time you take another photo, you're overwriting the memory space that the old one could have been. And once that happens, you can't recover it. If you can't recover from that physical space, unless there's some other backup, unless the file's been moved somewhere else. So it's a race against time as well. Yeah, for sure. So Ron's asking, is the link to Duplicate Cleaner Pro, do you guys have like an affiliate link for it you want to share, or just do a search for it?
We can. I don't have a personal affiliate link, Kathy, to do the photo managers.
You should get one.
No.
I would say you should get one.
Yeah,
we haven't.
Actually, I have a request out to them, but I haven't received my link yet. So
What do they mean?
I can find that.
So wait until we get our affiliate link before you start. I'm just kidding. So just a quick search will show it to you. I'm just taking a look. I think that's the questions that were asked. Oh, wait a minute. I got a few more here. No, I'm just going through. If there's any of the questions, drop them in now. There's still quite a few people online. that. Oh,
So I would just go to duplicatecleaner.com. That's the right software system, and you can download directly from that.
superb. Well, listen, that's we're almost up to the hour, so that's all fantastic. Jordan, thank you for spending your Saturday. Is it? I guess it's just about at noon with you for you right now. Just closing in on noon.
11. It's just about.
So you're an
11
hour ahead of me
here.
on Pacific Coast time. Well, thank you so much for your time. Let's drop the links one more time to contact you guys. Do you have that in so we can drop the links that you shared at the end of the slideshow? Let's see.
I've got those. I can drop them in real
Perfect.
quick here.